In the present position right now, it's black to play. We can flip the board and get black in front of us. But the most important is that he really needs to find a way to use that strength, the power of the queen, the far advanced c3 pawn in connection with some beautiful tactics. I have to admit that I've always wondered how to play in a position like this. I see my advantage and I'm always able to find out my opponent's counter chances. The truth is that black has his own active queen and he's got three type of possibilities to counter us. The first is the initial threat on our rook, and the second and the third are the d4 and f6 that just seem too bad. Yeah, the more we look at the position, more we'll find out that it isn't easy, or at least it doesn't look anyhow simple for black to cover all these tactics, all these attacks. Nevertheless, that seems like a possibility for us to just, find something that can help us to get rid of that attack. d4, f6, and a7. We got an extra pawn and a strongly advanced queen on c2. So we just defend passively, or we can probably do something different to utilize that powerful piece activity we have. If we look more carefully, we'll find out that the only thing black needs to do is queen d1 check. Why? Because after queen d1, king g2, and queen e2 check, he's getting to approach his queen close enough to white's king, so that ultimately after king h3 and queen takes f3, it doesn't matter that white has the attack against our rook. What we're going to do is going to be much more important than one rook. With the queen and the rest of the black's pieces, he's able to keep checking and really take over the initiative. In fact, there are two solutions in this position. One of them is h takes g5, which will lead to the same or even worse things, actually, if white takes it. If white gets to take that pawn, we've got the ability to play check here and checkmate. Or if white doesn't take that pawn, what's most interesting is that if white goes queen d4, there's f6. He'll have one more check until we reach h6, and then there is no saving from queen h5. What's very beautiful about this position is that this is just one of the solutions. h5 also works, given that his king is going to be constantly attacked. And in the end, when it goes to d6, actually d4 leads to something like c2, which he can hardly stop with his present king in the center. So we can see how black is going to win quite quickly. He's got to go to d6, and then we have the ability of playing after king, queen f5, king d6, queen e6, king c7, queen e7, trade the queens, and push the pawn. It's very beautiful because white's rook is completely out of condition to save it. And the one thing that we can learn from this position is that, in tactical or open positions, you have to be always aware of what are the special weaknesses that the opponent has. I even advise some of my students to pause. Yeah, what you can do is actually pause a certain position and ask yourself, okay, in that situation, what are the actual weaknesses that my opponent has? How can I try to exploit them? Right now, we've got that king. It's more than just a big weakness. It's incredibly weak. So, taking the advantage of giving some checks doesn't help white to make his own threats. c2 joins in, and now black is able to mix the both motives. The back rank king, the weak king, and the passed pawn with a lot of upcoming threats on the pawn structure. White just isn't in condition to stop these. It's just amazing. Very beautiful solution.